So yesterday, I feel like I wasted an entire almost 2 hours of my life. So what I'm talking about is yesterday, and I made a video on this already, JiDion tried to set up an interview with EDP445. Now, if you don't know the history of EDP, I don't need to explain it for you. There's a lot of documentaries and videos that could do this much better than I can. And also YouTube is sensitive because I'm constantly getting demonetized and getting that yellow flag for quite literally nothing. I would say like one curse word, and YouTube will get all sensitive about things. So I don't know. I hope this video actually lets me make money, but no. So what happened was yesterday, EDP was supposed to be interviewed by JiDion. They had apparently agreed to terms. My assumption was that JiDion had already paid EDP, and that everything was already set up. Not saying that I wouldn't believe that EDP would almost pussy out, but you know, still, it was like JiDion was heavily marketing this. He had this entire poster. I mean, every time he catches a cupcaker, I'm gonna use that word because last time I said the other word, I got demonetized. Every time he does, he calls it EDP watch or stuff like that. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do the interview as EDP demanded to get paid, and then JiDion revealed that they never planned on him getting paid, which I honestly don't believe. And now I'm just gonna say this right now. I love JiDion. JiDion's one of the funniest dudes out there. EDP can go rot in hell for what he did. To me, he deserves no remorse, no sympathy, and he can just screw off to, I don't know, to an island. Take him to Epstein's old island and let him just starve there. I'd be completely fine with that. But it resulted into like an hour and 40 minutes of him having to mute his mic occasionally, having to call his manager or whatever, constantly trying to figure out if they're even going to do this. At one point, EDP even sent a voice memo saying, you know, I need to get paid, I need a burrito or whatever. And it just resulted to just basically Pat God and Sneako both being on a call. And that was actually the first time I ever listened to Pat God without the voice modifier or whatever. I'm not a big fan of the roast kind of channels. To me, a lot of them come off as kind of basic. Not only that, but I also feel like you shouldn't be roasting if you keep your face anonymous. To me, that just shows cowardness. But again, I don't know Pat God enough to even give an opinion on him. But although I did find his roast on EDP funny when he was on Dom's channel. First, I'm going to get into the JiDion stuff. Then I'm going to get into Sneako, because Sneako said some incriminating stuff. And Pat God also probably needs to answer for some things he said. Also, sorry for the lighting. I like to have the curtain open, so apologize for the lighting just being on here. But anyways, what I was talking about with JiDion is JiDion was marketing this from the morning, saying, hey, we're going to interview EDP. Even did like a 40-second video saying, hey guys, it's a Rumble exclusive. Even I made a Rumble account. Decided, hey, I'm going to watch the stream because I'm interested. I want to see how does EDP handle the pressure, and would JiDion even press him. And now looking at what he said, I doubt he was ever going to press EDP, which is unfortunate because I feel like, you know, you got thousands of people watching this interview. Why wouldn't you? There's people who still haven't seen Cameron's interview or haven't seen Dom's interview. And it's like, I feel like it'd be interesting to, you know, hear how he handles being pressured. So when it comes to all this, JiDion's set it up. Or apparently it was their managers. How does EDP have a manager, bro? How? Like, is he setting you up with children? Like, what the heck? Like, how does EDP have a manager? I was surprised. I was baffled at that. Like, how? And my assumption is it's the guy who runs the website, because I doubt EDP even knows enough to make his own website or anything like that. And so it was apparently their managers. Apparently the idea was just to give EDP free publicity, and it was never to get paid, which honestly, I don't believe that. And I remember JiDion was just coping with it all. And I feel like I think JiDion should have just not marketed. If honestly, in reality, there should have been no marketing. It should have been just a normal stream, call it randomly, and then during that stream, try to find a way if you are going to talk to EDP. So at least that way you're not like getting people to watch your stream for no reason. You know, because it wasn't even entertaining, because it was just a long time of JiDion just being on the phone being like, oh, is it going to happen? It's because I wasn't entertaining. I was just, good thing I was playing FIFA while I was doing it. You know, at least I was doing something else while listening to JiDion and his manager go back and forth on whether or not this was going to happen. And then eventually we find out that EDP needed to get paid, which again, I don't believe. I believe that and this is what I genuinely think happened. I believe that the manager, or JiDion, told his manager, hey, we're not going to pay him. We don't want to get in trouble with people because obviously that's feeding EDP. And my belief is that their idea was to pay him after, and they weren't going to pay him. They were just going to do the interview and then boom, trick him. Now, EDP could have done the same. He's a horrible guy, much worse than any of these guys that I'm talking about. But my belief is that's what was going to happen, because EDP has done interviews. You can go right now on YouTube quickly, and I'm disappointed in JiDion for not doing so much research, because from what he said, it sounded like he knew nothing about EDP besides just the Chet Goldstein catching incident. And besides that, he didn't know anything about EDP from what it sounded like. But in the stream, it was because if you go search up EDP interview, you'll find Dom and you'll find Cameron's interview. If you watch Cameron's interview, which was the most recent interview, Cameron paid Bryant. So I don't know how JiDion doesn't get into his mind that of course EDP would want to get paid, especially when you go to his website. It says, hey, you want an interview, it would be $100. So I'm genuinely finding it difficult that he didn't know that. And what I didn't like is he started playing the moral high ground, saying, I don't want to pay a cupcaker. It's like that you were about to give him free publicity for over hundreds of thousands of people. And he could have lied to people, because there's actually people who are believing EDP. You know, and so to me, I don't believe this BS excuse of I'm playing the moral high ground. No, JiDion, just accept that you were trying to get free public, because this was going to help you. This did help you. I guarantee you there is more viewers on this stream than on your average streams. I guarantee you, at least on Rumble. And guess what? It got people like me to make a Rumble account. Now, I'm not saying he had to go through with it. I'm just saying you could have at least planned this better. Maybe don't hype people up for this interview. Don't do all this and say, we're going to get EDP, we're going to do this. And then the most unprofessional thing you say in the entire stream was, you said you didn't know about the incidents before the cupcake incident. So what happened before the cupcake incident is he was caught messaging other minors, other girls around the same age. And JiDion didn't know about that. And to me, it's like, how are you going to conduct an interview if you don't even know that? All it takes is 10 seconds of research, bro. It just takes 10 seconds. It's heavily documented that before the cupcake incident, EDP was doing weird things and trying to talk to other minors. Look, I give JiDion a W on not paying him. That's a W. But it's an L on the fact that you're playing this moral high ground when you marketed your entire stream on EDP, that you're begging people to come and Rumble for EDP. And you're doing all this for EDP. And I find it baffling that you didn't expect him to do this. Because a smart, intelligent person would have said, okay, I don't know if he's really going to come, especially without a paycheck. So we're just going to title this a normal stream. Not only that, but what you did also is you almost gave EDP the negotiating high ground, because EDP said, oh, people are coming for me. Right? They're coming for me. They're coming for what I'm going to say. So he could see the viewers. He could see this. And he could ask for more money. He could see, oh, you're probably making this much from Rumble, because he has a contract with Rumble. So I'm going to use that as leverage for negotiating power. And I feel like JiDion not thinking about all of this is just silly. And then him not knowing everything, that just to me baffles me. But that's all I got to say about that part. Still, I give him respect for not paying a cupcaker. I don't like the fact that a lot of his chat really wanted to pay him. But although I can't blame a lot of his chat because EDP promise, or not EDP, but JiDion promises major interview and they didn't get it. So really, JiDion can't play the whole. And I also hate how he was like, "Oh, I have better things to do. You guys have better things to do." Then at one point, someone in the chat got mad at him, and JiDion was like, "I got nothing to prove to you." It's like it came off almost as a rebellious teenager who can't accept the fact that he's wrong in some things. And I feel like JiDion, first of all, would have been the worst person to conduct his interview. It felt like, because even before when he was getting questions, he was like, "You guys have to remember EDP was famous before all of this." And it's like, yeah, that's true, but that's not what we're here for. We want to hear him. We want to hear him respond to the sins that he's committed. Right? That's what we're there for. No one cares about why does EDP have the number 445, although 4 plus 4 plus 5 equals, not gonna say the number, but it's like you sounded already charitable from the beginning and all that, so that just disappoints me. But now let's get into the ending part. So in the end of the stream, this happens.
Well, I think that's wrong.
So what's the age? So 13? No, what's the age?
I mean, shit. I know what is it in America? Most states it's 18. It goes from 16 to 18 in America. It goes from 16 to 18 in America.
I'm pretty sure most is 16. And like most places in the world.
Okay, that's true. Look, that's true. That's true. Most states in America, the age of consent is actually 16. That's true. So I mean, shit. Look, you gotta have a line, right? It's numbers, but you gotta put down a line. So I mean, it could be a 16-year-old, but then also there's laws. There's Romeo and Juliet laws, right? So there's a difference between a 16 and a 20-year-old. And then, or a 16 and an 18-year-old versus like a 16 and a 50-year-old. Do you agree with that, or no?
Well, consent, it shouldn't really matter with how old the other person is. Consent is like, what's the actual age?
Well, I mean, legally it does.
What the hell? Now, at this point, you could see that JiDion was stressed, and I can't blame him. He promised thousands of people this great content, or this great interview. Guarantee you that maybe he was worried about what Rumble was going to say. I don't know. But Sneako and Pac, bro. Now, look, here's what I'm going to say about Sneako. Sneako at this point, and I've said this before, and I made a video not long ago where he was caught flirting with the 14-year-old girl. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Sneako is not a real person. Sneako is just an internet NPC bot. That is what he is. And the reason why I say that is because to me, I don't believe he believes anything he says. To me, and this is what happens on YouTube. When you do YouTube, you find almost a gimmick. You find something that the audience loves and you get famous from. Speed found that gimmick of being really loud and obnoxious. Same thing with Kai Cenat. Destiny got that gimmick of being the smart liberal. Ben Shapiro got the gimmick of being a smart conservative. When you do YouTube or anything online, you have to find that gimmick. Me personally, because I have under 2,000 subscribers, maybe I haven't found that gimmick. Maybe I'm still trying to figure it out. But usually that's how YouTube works. If KSI's gimmick was doing boxing movies and all, or music, and all that eventually skyrocketed his fame to another level. Even though before that he was famous, because I did watch a lot of his FIFA content back then. And JiDion's was pranks. Everyone finds that gimmick, and usually, your gimmick is as close to who you are as a person. Because if it's close, like let's say your gimmick is you, like a Balin Levine or like a JiDion, then that will help you do this on the long run. Now, if your gimmick isn't you, or it's just a lie, then that gimmick is eventually going to spread apart. Sneako started off as just not a smart guy, but just a guy who questioned the world. He was this young kid who questioned the world. And that's what I liked about the old Sneako. He wasn't this intelligent soul. He wasn't this Einstein level guy. He was just a guy who questioned things. He said things that no one else was willing to say. And I liked that about Sneako. But now he found that gimmick of being controversial. He probably still does, but he used to market himself as the Kanye of YouTube. To me, that doesn't come off as, oh, I like Kanye's music. To me, that comes off as, Kanye's controversial. He says controversial things. I want to be like Kanye. And to me, Sneako has found that gimmick of, the more controversial I am, the more people are going to post about me on TikTok, Twitter, or all that. And it's easier for him because he does this for a full time. He makes a lot of money from from internet stuff, you know, and it's difficult for anyone else that doesn't do this full time like me. You know, obviously I got a life outside of this. I don't want to say controversial things. And Sneako has found that as a gimmick, and I feel like he just says controversial over controversial stuff. And in this video, it is absolutely disgusting what he said. And to me, it just highlights that Sneako's not a real person. And if you subscribe to him, then you're just another bot in the Matrix. You know, and I hate using that terminology, but it's just the truth. Sneako doesn't say anything interesting. He just says things that are regurgitated from other people, and he tries to be as controversial as possible. At least that's how I would hope, because if it's not, then you just admitted to doing something morally incorrect. This whole moral conversation about the age of consent, bro, what the hell? And then he tried saying, oh, I want to hear out EDP. At least at one point he even said the words, at least he's being honest. That's not a good thing. Jeffrey Dahmer was being honest of murdering 17 people. Are you telling me that's a good thing? No. It's like, what the hell? And the thing is, you're having all these conversations with Nick Fuentes. You're being charitable to him. It's like, to me, Sneako is far beyond redemption. Even though I liked what he said on Fresh and Fit, of talking about how men should not be getting vasectomies early on, and how men should be looking for wives rather than just dates. I like that. But this, what the hell is this? This isn't why are you even having this conversation? And to me, I genuinely was nervous that what was going to happen is when EDP showed up, first it was going to be JiDion and EDP, then eventually Packout was going to come in, and then eventually Sneako was going to come in. My worry was that Sneako was going to be charitable to EDP, and he was going to actually try to use him as content. Yeah, I would believe that. I would believe that's what was going to happen. And to me, I don't know how Sneako is screwing up his reputation. And the fact that there's people watching just shows there's so many dumb people in the world, bro. What he said, bro. Even JiDion didn't even say anything. He was just like, all right, I'm not about to deal with all this. And he just kicked out Sneako because Sneako was saying some criminal things. And I hated this whole conversation of the law or morals. It's like, usually the laws reflect our morals. That's why we have the age of consent at 18. And to me, morally even too, it's 18. You know, I don't know what you want to do with a teenager. You know, well, why do you want to hang out with a teenager? And the reason why I say 18 is because by the time you're 18, you're considered an adult outside of just consent and all that. First of all, you're leaving high school, so you're probably already going to go. When you leave high school, you have options. You have the option to go to college, and you have the option to go into the real world. So you already have adult decisions once you're 18. So to me, that's why 18 is that perfect spot. First of all, why do you even want to go with someone younger? I'm 21 years old, and even me, I always look for someone who's like 20, 21, 22, 19 at most. But then again, I think that's because it's so different when you're in your 20s and when you're in your 18, 19s. I feel like your life is very different and you have a different perspective on life. So even someone who's 21, and it wouldn't be weird if I dated an 18-year-old, even I don't get the gist, you know? And it's like, I don't know why Sneako was saying all this. And to me, I feel like he could have just said, oh no, I think the age of consent should be 18. And look, at most, maybe if he said 16, maybe I'd be like, okay, you're still weird, but I'm going to give you a pass. But the fact that he couldn't answer the question when EDP did try to interact with the 13-year-old, even at one point, Sneako came to his defense by saying that you know, EDP didn't actually do a crime. That was disgusting. And Packout was at least sus in this, but Packout was struggling to answer the question. He was just saying, the law. It's like, no, answer the moral question. And the moral question, or the moral answer, should be 18. That shouldn't even be a debate. Why do you want to talk to children? Right? It's like, why do you want to hook up with children? It's weird. Or teenagers, I mean. Teenagers are essentially children, okay? To all my kids out there that are 16, you're still kids, okay? Just going to say that. And even me, I'm probably still a kid, but I'm obviously not a legal kid. But no, what the hell? Like, I don't know, bro. And to me, I think it shows that JiDion really shouldn't be the guy to do these interviews, right? And I don't like that, bro. And I feel like it was a rare JiDion L. Although he hasn't been uploading on his main channel, I don't really like watching a lot of his streams. I like watching a lot of clips of his streams, but not really the streams themselves. I don't know, man. It felt like, to me, it felt like a desperate attempt to fulfill his Rumble contract, because I guarantee you, as a contract, they're saying, hey, we want exclusive content on this site. And to me, it just felt like a desperate attempt to get something big on Rumble. And I don't know. And I just hated this moral conversation. It was never moral to begin with. You're platforming a cupcaker. Okay? You're platforming that guy. A guy who's done horrible things for the world to see. And maybe worse things behind the scenes. I genuinely believe that there's some things that we don't know about EDP that he may have done. I'm being genuine with that. Especially because we've had almost 2 years of vagueness from him. So, there's that. But that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching this video. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you agree, disagree? I don't know. L or W on Sneako? I don't know. But that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Smash the like button. Do what it is you gotta do. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao.
Yeah, we broke and we know it. We don't act like all these other rappers acting like they got racks. Borrow cars, but we whipping in my mom's truck. 99 full, but act like it's a double R. Yeah, we broke and we know it. We don't act like all these other rappers acting like they got racks. Borrow cars, but we whipping in my mom's truck. 99 full, but act like it's a